see a picture of this lady, which words would you use to describe her? Anyone? Old. She's old, yeah.
None.
Yeah, she's a nun. Anyone else?
Hair.
Oh yeah, I guess that's one. But some of the words that I find more fitting are fake, fraud, and a downright hypocrite. That's right. Today I'll be talking about Mother Teresa. When people tell their own stories, they tend to manipulate the facts. So they tend to control the audience or we, the public. And in this case, Mother Teresa got away with some of the worst crimes imaginable against humanity. And through my research, I've read investigations, interviews, documentaries, and books about all of her case. And what I want to go with this is to teach you guys how to recognize the harm that she did. You know, she's an icon to us, both to Catholic Church, at least. And I want to dissect her public figure, shine a light on her crimes, and make us all more aware. So I'll be telling her story, her rise to fame, her actions, her crimes, what she advocated for, and what she also, some of the bad things that she advocated for too. So, yeah, so, Mother Teresa's real name is Agnes Gonzalo Echup. She was born in August 26 of 1910 in what is now known as Macedonia. From a very early age, she demonstrated a great contribution to the church, as by the age of 10, she was already baptized, confirmed, and commuted. And then when she grew to be 18, she joined the group known as the Sisters of Loreto, who are based in India. This has been reported by the Nobel Prize organization, who gave her the Nobel Prize in 1979. And they also tell us that she grew through the ranks of the Sisters of Loreto until she became the head of the organization. And by October 1950, she, along with the Vatican, formed the group known as the Missionaries of Charity, who preach for the poor all over the world. But there's a truth to the Missionaries of Charity, and one testimony from a volunteer that held the organization tells us that she compared the missions of this organization, she compared them to Nazi concentration camps. As patients' heads were shaved, they slept on the floor, they didn't have beds, restrooms, or didn't have access to elevators to reach higher floors. This is all told to us in the 1994 documentary Hell's Angel by Christopher Hitchens, and in another one of Christopher Hitchens' books called A Missionary Physician. A personal friend of Victor Hitchens, who also volunteered, tells how Mother Teresa teached her nuns how to secretly baptize dying patients, be them Buddhists, Muslims, or people of any other religion. Next slide, please. But, you know, she might have a weird mentality, but at least she helped, right? Well, after that, she opened over 600 missions in that time, over 122 countries, and by the time of her death, she had 4,000 nuns working under her, as you can see here, all over the world, thanks to Google Maps. Their organization helped with the AIDS crisis, or in war-torn countries, helping refugees, or people affected by natural disasters, as the Washington Post reported in 1979. But what actually went down in those regions is completely different. Dr. Adolf Chatterjee, who is also based in India, where Mother Teresa mainly operated, tells us that homeless people were required to have no living family members to enter the facility. And something similar happened with parents, as they were legally required to surrender the child to the organization in order to give them a second chance at life. And another testimony found in Christopher Hitchens' book tells us that another volunteer, when he tried to help a teen suffering from tuberculosis, she recommended the nuns to take him to the hospital. But the nuns simply replied with, "If we did that, we would be forced to do it to all of the people." So that's a bit weird. Also, another main point here is that the University of Ottawa, in a study that they conducted in 2013, found the conditions described by doctors there were unhygienic, even unfit, inadequate food, and no painkillers. Again, going back to the volunteers and the nuns, they didn't have no medical training, so they couldn't diagnose patients, and they didn't administer painkillers, as I mentioned before, so no Advil. Also, the needles weren't properly cleaned, they weren't sterilized, and they were cleaned in the same water that some of the clothes that were stained with feces were cleaned in. But these are all just testimonies, words from people that ultimately don't have a say in the matter, because after all, Mother Teresa still, she sent a message to help the poor, to the masses. She moved all of us, the public, the rich, for the betterment of humanity. But she might have also preached for some different things, like for example, Exhibit 1, the Duvalier family, who were the head of a drug ring in Haiti, and we're also known for the jailing and torture of their citizens. And in one bizarre case, the president of Haiti killed all the black dogs in the capital of Port-au-Prince because he believed that one of his political rivals could turn into a black dog. And then when Mother Teresa visited them, he mentioned that I've never seen the poor people be so familiar with the head of state as they were with her, referring to Ms. Duvalier, the First Lady of Haiti. And of course, you might say that, oh, she just didn't know about this, but she probably did, because she mentioned this after receiving a donation from the Duvalier family. Next is Exhibit 2, Charles Keating, describing his Encyclopedia Britannica entry as a con man and a fraud responsible for the 1980s loan crisis in America, which costed taxpayers an estimated $124 billion with a B, and he donated to Mother Teresa $250,000. And when Keating was eventually tried in the court of California, Mother Teresa went ahead and defended him, saying, "I only know that he has always been a kind and generous to God's support, and always ready to help whenever there was a need." And now the judge actually responded to Mother Teresa, and she wrote back to her, "I submit that Jesus promptly and unhesitatingly returned the property to its rightful owners. I believe that you should do the same." And of course, Mother Teresa didn't respond to this and never returned the money. And Exhibit 3, Robert Maxwell. He's most well known for being a British businessman, described by The Guardian as a nasty one. He was friends and business partners of the one and the only Jeffrey Epstein. And he is well known for embezzling 450 million euros from his investors, her pensioners and employees. And after this, he met with Mother Teresa in an attempt to boost his image, and he planned to help her with her missions. But Maxwell then later died under mysterious circumstances, just like his friend Jeffrey Epstein. But how did she get away with all of this? We still see her as a saint, and we still believe that she did all the good things in the world. How could something so nasty be obscured? Well, she committed fraud, misuse of donations, abuse of power, medical maltreatment, and in 2016, she obtained statehood by the Catholic Church, even though several people testified against this. So I think it's disgusting, really, how well a person can manipulate their own vision of the truth, go against the actual facts. So what I want to teach you guys is, to do your own research, investigate, tell your friends, your family, and please don't let her get away with the biggest case of emotional fraud. That's what he's saying. Thank you.